On this episode of Internet Business Mastery, we talk about 2 internet business skills that will make you unstoppable. And in the quick tip, a 99 Designs type site for getting voiceover work done.
Welcome to InternetBusinessMastery.com, where you will learn to take control, make more money, and start an internet business today. Here are your hosts, Sterling and Jay.
Hey everyone, I'm Sterling.
And I'm Jay, and we're here on a mission to help you start your own internet business. You can go now to freevideogift.com to check out a video that teaches you the right way to start your very own online business. So Sterling, I was thinking about our conversation from the last episode as I was actually waking up this morning. And
thinking of me when you wake up, as it should be.
Yep. And, just thinking that, this whole idea that, that first step of financial freedom is the confidence that you know how to create value that, then people will be willing to pay for. And it's also an interesting insight. Sometimes people get really overwhelmed about all the different supposed ways there are to make money online. And, there's seemingly gazillions of different courses and methods and strategies. The truth, I thought about it then, though, and I said, the ones, though, that really work, the ones that stick around, the ones that are going to build a sustainable long-term business and give you those other levels of financial freedom that we were talking about are the ones that teach you how to really create value on the internet. And really, the legitimate ones kind of come down to that principle right there, because there's so many courses out there when there's this new loophole in Google and getting ranked in Google, or there's this new way to kind of game the system and get people to click on your email and pay attention to you for a second or two. And anytime it's based on that kind of like loophole or gaming the system or bait and switch, or it's not sustainable, because in the end the system or the people involved, they see right through it. Eventually Google's going to dump your sites, or eventually people are going to stop paying attention, or eventually you're just not going to get the traffic anymore because the system's going to adapt. Because in the end, it's looking for value. People are looking for value, hence Google wants to deliver that value, and hence people wanted to offer content of value so that the whole system keeps going and working. And that's just kind of like basic economics there, right? So anyway, I guess I just wanted to bring that up and point it out and see if you had anything to add to that, of this idea of when you're considering a system that you want to pursue online, look at, is it teaching me to create value on the internet? And if so, well, that's a solid system, and that's why we teach what we teach in the academy.
Yeah, I mean, I really completely agree. There's not a whole lot to add to that other than just, saying that that's the way we've built our entire business on, giving value, more of a long-term, real, solid business foundation, rather than scammy little, here's how to scam a few people here, how to scam a few people here, or what I see in a lot of other things that are going on right now. So yeah, I completely agree. It's always still based on that, giving value.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants a shortcut, right? But the sad truth, or just the straight truth, is that when you shortcut the process, it's the value that suffers, and that's why it's not sustainable in the end. So just an additional thought on that episode we had last week, where we're talking about financial freedom, the real truth behind financial freedom. And I think today's episode is kind of related, because it's another kind of big grand scheme reason for why we teach what we teach, why I think people want an internet business. So I'm kind of excited to talk about this as well, this idea of what will make you unstoppable, 2 business skills that'll make you unstoppable. So let's go ahead and get to it.
And now, the features segment.
All right, well, I'm really excited to talk about this topic today that we have for our feature segment that goes, again, along really well with what we talked about last time. I think when people think about internet business and the things we teach, and clearly things like I want to make money, I want to quit my job, those things come up, and those are awesome. But I think it is really helpful to kind of realize and frame it in that kind of grand scheme of creation of value like we did last time. And something else that we wanted to talk about today comes from something we see a lot in our surveys. When we'll put out surveys and just kind of ask open-ended questions of well, what do you want most out of your internet business? And usually the number one answer is something like, make more money, freedom. I mean, we kind of see those as synonymous because, quit my job, that's all kind of the same thing. Money means freedom, means options like being able to quit my job. So kind of that more freedom, more options, more choices is the number one thing we hear back. And the number two thing we hear back is this idea of make a difference or make an impact or influence people, and which I think is really, really cool. Recently, I was at a concert. It was Coldplay, which I'm sure is a band a lot of people have heard of. And I've just always had Coldplay on a list of bands I wanted to see live at some point because I'd seen a Blu-ray, HD Blu-ray, and I'm like, wow, these guys put on a great show. That's on the bucket list. See them, a live Coldplay arena show. And they did not disappoint. I'll tell you, I'm kind of a tough audience when it comes to concerts these days. But I'm sitting there with my wife and a couple friends, and Brendan Burchard, who I'm sure a lot of people listening to this know of because we share his content sometimes, and his wife. And Coldplay's got the whole lights going. They got big screens up. They've got confetti blowing in the air. Everyone's got like these bracelets on that we put on as we were coming in, and they start lighting up at key times. They'll stop in a particular chorus, and like the whole crowd is singing and getting into it. And obviously it's an exciting moment. And at one moment I'm sitting there going, wow, this is so freaking awesome that this band, and particularly the singer, is commanding the attention of 15,000 people in this arena. And it kind of made me think back to over a decade ago when Melanie and I were really serious about our music. And that was kind of our aspiration, was to make great music that impacts people and connects with people. And so part of me was kind of like, oh, wow, like, did I give up this way to be able to, what would that be like to hit my guitar and have 10,000 watts of power come out of, the speakers, and all these people are cheering and into it. And Coldplay uses their attention for good influence too. I mean, they've got great lyrics and things like that, but then, they've picked causes that they believe in, and they'll mention them in their concerts, or, get people mobilized, their fans mobilized around certain things that they believe in, which is also very cool. So anyway, I had that moment of like, wow, wouldn't that be cool? And then all of a sudden it dawned on me. I'm like, wait a second. I make a podcast episode, and the moment that Sterling and I release a podcast episode, as many people as are sitting in this arena listen to our episode.
Yeah, probably a lot more too. What is in an arena? 30,000?
What's that?
How many people are in that arena, would you say?
15,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, this is, it's one of those, it's where the Portland Trailblazers play. Big basketball arena filled to the brim of people to see Coldplay. And actually that, it's been a while since I've been to a basketball game or anything. And so all of a sudden I was like, wow, here is a visual representation of our audience. And like you said, it's at least this many, depending on the episode, but it's like, wow, like, look at this. And I was like, so wait, I do have the ability to put out, and it might not be through 10,000 watts of guitar amp through the speakers and up on the big screen of an arena with people cheering and lights going, but still, we sit in our offices and record this, and maybe there seems like there's less fanfare, because in a way we put it out there, and yes, we see the stats, and sometimes we get people that, on a regular basis, we get people email, go, we love the show, thanks for all the stuff. It's not like seeing 15,000 people all at once cheer the moment you release your episode. But at the same time, I'm like, wait a second, this is cool. Like, the internet and the business that Sterling and I have created have allowed us to be able to have that kind of impact and influence to a large amount of people. Now, I'm not saying we're as famous as Coldplay, of course not. I mean, they go and they fill an arena like that every night for half the nights of a year. 180 nights out of a year, they'll do that. But
speak for yourself.
You're like, you don't know what I do.
Clearly at the store.
Spare time.
Yeah. People just pull out their lighters as I walk by, and
you're like, I'm a big hit on the macrame circuit. Like, exactly. I can fill an arena of macrame enthusiasts in Des Moines, Iowa. I don't know why I picked Des Moines, Iowa.
It reminds me of when I was hanging out with Pat Flynn back when I was in San Diego. He would wear a shirt that always cracked me up that said, I'm big on Twitter. Yeah. And it's that kind of thing. Like, I got to tell you, I'm really big in my world.
Right. I'm big stuff. All you people here in the grocery store, you have no clue who I am, but let me tell you.
I'm big on Twitter.
So I thought, well, how cool is that? The internet allows anyone to significantly impact people and the world, both for their own benefit, delivering that value, getting paid for it, getting that financial freedom that we talked about, but as well as for the benefit of others. And so that's just, when you know how to command the attention of people and have that lead to influence, which right there, that's the money map that we teach in our curriculum in the academy. It all starts out with, you get people's attention, and then you get them to raise their hand and go, yeah, this looks interesting. Let me sign up for your email list. And then you build up, you deliver value to engage them and to build up a relationship. And once that relationship is in place, you've built up influence to the point that, when the time comes that you put out an email, it's like, hey, here's this thing I think you'll enjoy. Go here now to buy it. Or, hey, here's this thing we believe in. Go here now to vote for it. Or here's this thing that we think is awesome. Go here now to donate. Or whatever that action is that you'd like to have people take for impact, whether it's to make money or make an impact or a combination of both, you have that power when you know how to use the internet to build up attention and build up influence.
And the great thing is we don't have to grow out our hair and wear spandex if we don't want to.
Exactly.
Isn't that Coldplay? I don't know. I'm stuck in the 80s still. Yeah, what do I know?
Thinking of Bon Jovi and
sure.
Great White, Rat with 2 T's. All those good old.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. It's awesome.
And wear makeup
as a guy? I don't know. I mean, unless you want to. Of course, nobody knows if I am or not, but...
Right. For all we know, you're sporting the guy liner right now.
Right now.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing is, part of me goes, wow, that would still be really cool to have achieved that lifetime goal. And not even necessarily fill an arena, but just have music that's, and be able to tour and even fill an auditorium of 3,000 people, like you said. But, ultimately, lifestyle design, Melanie and I decided, you know what? We don't want to go and play in bars for 10 years. And I mean, all these overnight successes, they're really 10 years of hard work and toil and struggle. Cool thing about internet and the kind of influence we're talking here, it can happen much faster, and you can still go to the mall and not, have to worry about all the other things that come with celebrity, and you can, your own little, what we call in the traffic attraction formula course, our podcasting course, your own little mini Oprah effect. I mean, think about the huge influence. Oprah says something, and all of a sudden a book is bam, New York Times bestseller, and she says something, and all of a sudden, boom, a guy like Dr. Phil has his own show, and she says something, and all of a sudden, bam, all kinds of money for a school in Africa. And, that's pretty awesome to command that kind of attention. And even if you had a small fraction of her attention, a small fraction of her influence, there's huge, huge impact that you could have, again, not only for yourself, but for others. A few years back, I had a friend of mine who had an opportunity come up to work her dream job. And it was to travel abroad to very tropical places and do filming. And it was for like a tourist board or bureau or something, and they wanted somebody to film these beautiful tropical places and kind of be a correspondent for getting travel to these awesome islands. And
tough job.
And yeah, it sounds awesome, right? And the way to apply for this was to make a YouTube video and put it up and apply and post it on the application site, and then basically the community at large would vote for the video that they liked the best. And I think that's how they found their top 5. And then, then some panel of people actually decided. And, I remember I knew about this because she put it out on Facebook, and it's like, okay, cool. Yeah. I went and watched her video. Awesome. I voted for it. But then the funny thing is I noticed, and I kind of watched over time, obviously, to see how she was doing. And she did okay, being able to put out to her family and friends. We all have our circle of influence that kind of comes from just the life that we live. But then I noticed all of a sudden, as things finally floated to those clear top 5, I was like, oh, wow, let's see who the number 1 video is. And it was somebody who's a podcaster. And this is even a few years ago when podcasting was just getting going. But she had a huge, very well-known tech/geek hosted show. And she had a huge following. That normally followed her for finding out the latest news and things like that. But clearly she'd built a relationship with them. And when she was like, hey, guys, I'm thinking about doing this thing. It sounds awesome. Would you support me? Her community came out, which went well beyond her immediate family and friends because of the show that she had developed over a couple of years. And boom, there she went to the top. And I was like, wow, just another example of when you know how to command that attention, get that attention, leverage that into a relationship with people, and leverage that relationship into influence. You can make big things happen.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of one more example of a podcast I listen to from time to time. The guy he calls it the biggest philosophy show in history because he's at 30 million downloads.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, that just is crazy. It's philosophy. He's got, talk about commanding a huge auditorium. He would be able to go around the world probably and have a tour. I mean, like that's humongous. I mean, even big news outlets and stuff are trying to have him on their shows now because, just on the internet, he got a humongous following.
Well, and especially when you think most people who have an interest, say at a young age in philosophy, their option is go get a PhD in philosophy and then go teach at a college.
Yep.
And, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. And you'll impact some people over the course of a 20, 30 year career. But this guy, in a matter of a few years on the internet, got this huge following, and then naturally from there, like he's been able to turn it into a living that makes far more than he'd ever make as a professor. I mean, I would dare say he is the highest paid philosopher in the world,
for sure.
Professional philosopher. How often do you hear that? I'm a professional philosopher, right?
And he does donation model, which I've tried to stop him from doing, although he's doing really well. I mean, obviously, when you've got 30 million people downloading your stuff, even the smallest percentage giving you donations can add up pretty quick.
Still adds up, yeah.
But and I guess it's just been a few years now. Want to talk about somebody that's prolific? I mean, we're at I think this is 158 episodes. I think he's got just over 2,000 in about the same amount of time. And his name's Steph from Freedomain Radio. Pretty out there show, but it's an amazing model, for somebody who's just doing a free podcast.
Right, absolutely. Well, and even as people are listening to this, even if you're not trying to be the world's most well-paid philosopher or, trying to be, equivalent to Coldplay or get your dream job in the islands, even if you're just like, it would be really cool just to change half a dozen lives with the experiences that I've had in my life, the possibilities are there to happen very quickly and very easily. I mean, it's not like you have to be the world's greatest orator. We're not talking about Socrates or Churchill or Lincoln or, people from history that you think, well, these are the people that make real big differences. I mean, we're in a completely different age where we've all got broadband connections on devices that are sitting in our pocket. We'll go online dozens and dozens of time a day looking for entertainment, information, connection with others, and everyone can find down to the tiniest micro niche their exact need, their exact interest, their exact passion. And when they go looking, if you're in that place when they go looking, and you know how to make that connection, you don't have to be a slick salesman. You don't have to be as a spin meister like a politician, all the usual things that we might think of when we think of, oh, these are the influential people of our time. It's a completely changed landscape, and I think it's just awesome that you can do that. So when you think of the things that you want for yourself in your life, and you think of the things that you would like to leave behind in life, think about that as you start or continue or take your business to the next level, this internet business, and think about attention and influence. And those are the title of this episode, what are the two internet business skills that will make you unstoppable? And it's exactly that. If you know how to get attention and you know how to get influence, and again, just to review, it's that money map, or you can call it influence map, take action map, whatever you want. We call it the money map because obviously we're teaching how to make money. But it's if you know how to get attention and then get people to raise their hand and go, this is cool, I'll give you permission to follow up with me, for example, email list, and then deliver great value like we talked about in the last episode. And so over time, as you deliver great value, you're engaging with them. They're going, wow, I'm getting so much value. This is so cool. I want to tell other people about this. I want to help out with whatever, they feel like they really know you. And then the relationship forms, they know, like, and trust you. That's the foundation of a relationship. And when you've got that relationship, now you've built up what we call that influence account. And when the time comes that you ask them to take action, they're there and willing. Again, whether that action is to donate, to vote, to show up, to support you, to buy your product, whatever that is that you're trying to do with your attention and your influence, everything's in place to make that happen. So when you combine that freedom of value creation that we talked about last episode, and you combine that with attention and influence that we're talking about in this episode, you can build not only a business, but even a presence, and if you want, a legacy online, and you truly will be unstoppable. So just wanted to talk about this other grand side of internet business, because it's something I've seen not only in my own life over and over and over again, but in the lives of our students, and then just in the lives of other bloggers and podcasters and people trying to do cool things online. And I just think that's an amazing thing. This episode's breakthrough comes from Lisa Newton, a listener that sent in the following email. She says, "Hi, Sterling and Jay. I've been listening for several months now, and I wanted to send a quick thank you. I implemented a few of your simple tips. I teach piano lessons out of my home, and I recently started a website. My site, lisanewtonpianolessons.com, is now ranking on the first page of Google for my main keywords. I know it's just a small step, but for me, it's huge. Thank you so much for everything you do. Cheers, Lisa Newton from Monterey, California." Thank you so much, Lisa.
Congratulations.
Congrats on landing on the front page of Google. We love it when we hear that the tips and tricks that we share have helped you. So thanks, Lisa. Keep us in the loop on your continued progress. And by the way, I love Monterey, California. For a long time, I thought I might want to go and live there. And the whole Northern California, Bay Area, and South and North of there. Oh, beautiful, beautiful area. So
see how nice you started out your business already where Jay wants to be.
I know, already. Look at that lifestyle design. So that's freaking awesome.
And remember, there's a live question and answer call each month for coaching members where you can ask us anything about starting and running your internet business. Not a coaching member yet? No problem. Just visit internetbusinessmastery.com/coaching to get the latest information about our coaching program.
It's time for the Internet Business Quick Tip.
So often we get asked about the voiceover work in our show, like the intro and the outro. And we've had, several different versions over the years. And we actually get all of ours done with a gentleman by the name of John Melly, which you can find at johnmelly.com, JOHNMELLEY.com. That's actually not the quick tip, though. Feel free to go and definitely check out his services and let him know that we sent you if you use his services. But do you even remember where we met John initially?
I don't actually.
It's funny.
It's been so long.
He's just been there all this time, and he's actually gone through some of our courses and stuff too. And talented guy. I mean, it's amazing all the different voices he can do, and he just always does.
Yeah, I mean, he works for like CNN and stuff, like he does, or ABC News and stuff like that. So he's a big guy. Yeah,
so if you want that and cream of the crop, John Melly is great. Not all the time can somebody afford to go pay somebody like John Melly to do their voiceover work, and so I thought it was really cool when I came across this site, voice123.com, and we've talked many times about 99 designs where you can go and you submit a kind of a contest basically, and a lot of people do submit different designs, you can give feedback, and then one person gets chosen and wins the amount of money that you've pledged up for that contest. And so you end up getting lots of choices to choose from, and you also end up paying a very reasonable price to get some quality work. And Voice123 is basically like the 99 designs of voiceover work. So whether it's for a podcast show, whether it's for a course, maybe even if you're doing, or maybe videos you're doing for YouTube, where you think it might be cool to have somebody, making you sound like a rock star by having that opener that sounds like, it's professional on the radio or whatever, Voice123 could make that very accessible to people. So we haven't actually used this site ourselves, but I thought it was a super cool idea. And I have heard work that's come out from Voice123 on other podcasts, and it, sounded great, the work that they got done. So I thought it would be worth bringing that to our audience and recommending it to them, voice123.com.
If you'd like to get dozens of resources such as this one, you can find them in the Internet Business Mastery Academy, along with video tutorials showing you exactly how we use many of them. So to get your risk-free trial membership to the Academy, go to internetbusinessmasteryacademy.com.
You've been listening to the iconoclasts of the 9 to 5, Sterling and Jay. Sterling and Jay invite you to discover one of their most popular video programs ever, the Online Business Freedom Formula. Visit freevideogift.com right now to get instant access to this life-changing video series, pulled directly from the acclaimed Internet Business Mastery Academy membership community. Go now to freevideogift.com. Take control. Make more money. Start an internet business today.